Welcome to Carter's Retro Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing X-Men vs Street Fighter for the Sega Saturn. Now, normally these reviews start out with a joke or two, and I know I use the word joke loosely. Poo, bum, wee, fart, erection, that sort of thing. But not this time. Essentially, this review is going to be a 5-minute circle jerk. You see, this is one of the few games for the Sega Saturn that everyone in the Sega Saturn community can uniformly agree on is either A, a good game, or B, an excellent port, and in my opinion is both column A and column B. So if you've come looking for that opinion, bang, you've got your opinion. You don't need to see any more. I mean, I would hope that you'd watch the rest of it because, I do put in a bit of effort for these. It'd be good if you could. If you feel like this is all you need, then that's fine. But for everyone else, there is a little bit more information. I feel like I don't want to retread on already existing ground, which has been done a million times on YouTube. I haven't really looked it up on YouTube, but I cannot be the first one who's reviewed this game, because quite frankly, if you're into fighters, or even just the Sega Saturn in general, it's absolutely essential. So with that opinion out there already, here is a bit more detail on the game X-Men vs Street Fighter for the Sega Saturn. X-Men vs Street Fighter was developed and published by Capcom for the CPS2 and ported to the Sega Saturn the following year. If you're really looking for a story in this game, it might be there, but it's not really worth covering because none of it really matters. They all have their reasons for being there, but I really haven't found a game that's concentrated on this facet because, even at its best, it's never deep enough to create detailed lore from. Chunners wants to take revenge on Bison on behalf of her father, and a few people are pissed at Sagat, but short of that, it's not terribly comprehensive. It's almost like there's not enough story here to turn it into an hour-and-a-half live action movie. None of this aspect matters anyway, because the whole video is a shameless facade to tell you to buy a game for a less popular console that you were probably going to buy anyway. So let's take a breakdown of perhaps one of the easiest purchase decisions you'll ever be faced with as a Sega Saturn owner. The presentation is great. I've made this comment in the past about the health bars being an essential part of the presentation when it comes to fighting games, and this is still excellent. The text, layout, everything is just so bombastic and fantastic and over the top, and it fits like a finger in a bum. Graphically, the port is amazing. No glitches, colourful, energetic, no drop frames, and just excellent. All the sound problems I experienced initially seem to boil down to a Japanese port on a PAL Saturn, I think. As soon as I put this on my Japanese Saturn, the sound was perfect, no glitches, sounded great, and suits the gameplay. One or two reviewers back in the 90s thought the soundtrack was somewhat derivative and unoriginal, and perhaps I'm listening to it through rose-coloured hearing aids, but it still sounds pretty good to me. The gameplay has all the hallmarks of a great fighter. You're probably expecting me to say but there is no but. It handles well, and the fighting mechanic is as deep as you want it to be. I always thought of myself as pretty good at the game until I played someone who was genuinely good. They've learnt the moves of nearly every character to a level I never did. Not only does it have a standard super move, but you also have air combos, team combos, and hyper combos, all which take time to master. People have said they've refined a lot of the team-based combat in later games, but those people are wrong. This is hands down one of the best fighters on the system. Rank it up there with Virtua Fighter 2, Dead or Alive, Fighters Megamix, Pocket Fighter, or Last Bronx. The replayability is all here. A lot of it has to do with different combinations of team you can create. Once you get past the initial novelty of that, the fighting mechanics keep you there, playing many hours later. Would I recommend this game? Of course I would. It's damn near flawless and it matches expectations. This game is another game that is absolutely essential to any collection, and any fighting fan would find this release paramount. But then again, you probably knew all this and you didn't need me to tell you. What was I going to say? This release is a turd and it should be avoided? We all know that's just disingenuous at the very least and blatant lies at the very worst.